Hey guys, today we are going to be doing something a little different. We are going to be restoring an old motorized bike, just for a little bit extra challenge. So this is the bike. It's affectionately named Sweet Potato. One of my friends in town here, he used to ride this as sounds like a kid or young teenager, and it's in a little bit of a state of disrepair. I'll throw in some footage of him explaining his story here.
Yeah.
So this is the new restoration project. So this is your bike back in the day. How long ago was that?
Let's see, what is it, 2021? Probably about 6 years ago.
6 years ago. So it's been in a state of disrepair.
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah, because I was probably 13 or 14.
Okay, cool. And what do we got going on with
Well, we got
all of this welding?
we got a fork to about here, and then we got a straight piece of fork, then we got the original fork to this housing here.
To the neck.
Yeah,
awesome.
and then you got a piece of kid's bike, kind of the main suite here, and then you got a couple engine mounts welded up there, a little extender for, you got your little long reach
There we go.
seat there.
Racing carb.
Yes, sir.
Regular rag joint sprocket installed backwards. That's the way to do it.
I had to reinstall it because the last wheel, it busted every spoke off. We had to find a new rim and just zip it together.
I like the stub for the rear motor mount of the old seat post.
Yep.
What is this?
That would have been the kickstand. I don't know what happened to
Oh.
the springs and stuff.
Huh.
They had a center stand on her, so.
Fun. So, does it still have just like really old gas in it, or?
That's what I was hoping for, but
Oh, I don't think it has any.
it's dry.
That probably changed it.
It actually
Yeah.
doesn't smell anything.
No, gas is dry.
That's pretty lucky. That's good.
So-
Run that dry gas. That's how it runs better on dry gas.
So my plan is just to start tearing into it, see if it's got spark, see if I can get it rolling, and I don't know, maybe bring it back to some former glory. So first thing we need to check, first thing we need to do before we can check fuel, air, spark, and compression is get this clutch working, because right now that is pretty stiff, barely moves. So we're gonna take that off, and then also it looks like we're gonna have to soak this chain or put a new one on, because that one's pretty far gone. So we'll get started on that. Oh man. Ugh, I think we're gonna have to go to the impact screwdriver for these ones. Alright, so impact's over at my dad's house, and I don't feel like going over there right now. So we're going to use just a punch and a sledgehammer and try to shock those loose, put some PB blaster on them, and try a screwdriver again. Oh boy. Let's see if we can get this to stay still and go. Oh man, those are in there. Oh, got one. That one was no problem. There we go. So just got the cover off here, and it appears that rust on this shaft is what was causing that issue. Try to do this, yeah, it won't barely turn anything. So we'll hose that down with some PB here. Let that soak for a while. Oh, yeah, nice hole in there too. Yeah, these should, well, really any bike you shouldn't leave out in the rain, but these especially. because they're not sealed up at all and stuff like this happens. So I'm going to let that soak for a while, and then I'll work it back and forth and get it rolling. At the same time, we'll get that chain off. Because I forgot that you have to roll the chain out. You can't just pull it off because there's not enough room right here. So we'll just PB blaster the snot out of it and hope it comes back to life so we don't have to cut it off. Oh no! Alright, so we're going to try to work in the oil as much as we can here. Just try to... Oh my god. Wow, this is rusty. Okay, so we have a functional clutch now, so we can pull this pile of crap chain off here. Oh, almost. Alright. And the goal is to use as many of the original parts as possible. If you're going to keep riding this, obviously you're going to want to replace that chain, but for the sake of this, we're going to try to wire brush this and save it for some unknown reason. Oh man, that is not the sound you want your chain to be making. Okay, so we got another day here. I tried saving that chain, but it was just a little bit too far gone. So I got some chain left over from a garage door opener that broke. We'll use that instead, and then went and got a ton of PB blaster, so we'll go ahead and oil the chain and oil these bolts to remove the sprocket and put it on the right direction. As you can see here, we have a sprocket misalignment because this sprocket is flipped. You can see there's an indent that's supposed to go to the inside of the sprocket. So since this has been sitting outside and these bolts are all rusty, I'm going to go ahead and soak those down with some PB blaster, and then we'll take this wheel off and flip that sprocket. Okay, so about 10 minutes later, we got that old sprocket on the correct way. So now we'll go ahead and put it on the bike here and then make up a chain for it and see if this motor turns over. So now I'm going to put in the clutch and try to feed this chain through, get it to drop out the bottom. Alright, there we go. Okay, that looks like that's as low as we're going to get the tensioner. Which usually I'll run without these, but since this one has this big long chain on the other side, I don't really want to have tensioning issues on that side. Usually I'd have a derailleur on the pedal side, which we don't have on this bike. So I think we're just going to have to be a half a length too long, and then, yeah, there's enough play in the other side where we can just move the wheel back. Alright, and we'll make a break there, and then go ahead and put in a master link. Alright, so our chain's on, so now I'll just go ahead and make an adjustment here at the rear axle, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I got good tension on the drive chain now. Pedal chain has a bit of slop in it. I'll probably have to put another tensioner on or take a link out But for now, we should be ready to move on for testing. I have a pretty good feeling this motor's stuck because it sat with the exhaust port open there. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and blow all this mouse poop off the engine with some compressed air outside. Then I'm gonna take the spark plug out and spray some PB Blaster in there and let it soak for a little bit and try to free up those piston rings. Okay, so the spark plug is out. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but the cylinder walls in there, right there. Ah, crap, I just had it. Yeah, cylinder walls are looking a little rough. Yeah, that one's got tons of pitting, so he said it may have seized, and I kind of believe him. So we'll put some PB Blaster down there, see what happens. Alright, so I just went back from a ride, went out and rode this thing. It's really sketchy. So main issue here, I'll flip the camera and show you. So the drivetrain is still popping. You can see the engine is tilted kind of like that. So it's kind of clocked wrong. And that's causing the chains to bind and pop. And also the engine is definitely seized. So I'm gonna let it sit overnight with that PB Blaster in there. We'll come back a different day and see if it moves, and if not, we'll take the head off and see if we can smack it down with a piece of wood or something. Well, it's a couple of days later. Let the PB Blaster soak, and it actually made it past the piston rings. And I'll flip the camera and let you check this out. It actually turns over, and quite easily. Hopefully this thing might actually run after all. So now that the engine turns over, I'm going to go ahead and pull off this crusty carburetor, clean it, and throw it back on, hook up a fuel line, and see if this thing pops off. Oh, and I have already made a video on how to clean these carburetors, so I will include a link in the description for you guys if you're interested. Oh man, this thing has to be the nastiest carburetor that I have ever taken apart from a motorized bike. Oh, gross. Anyway, that's corrosion from the pieces inside the carburetor in the bowl. And that's what happens when water gets down your carburetor. Oh man, it's so gross. I'm not sure this one's going to be recoverable, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, the carburetor is clean and back on. I also hooked up a fuel filter and a fuel hose. I de-janked the fuel tank a little bit that was leaning over. It is now secured with zip ties because those are all rusted and broken and on backwards. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to throw this exhaust pipe on there quick and put the spark plug back in, fill it with gas, and see what we get. Okay, so I was messing around with it some more. That wire's just the kill switch over here, and you can see we actually do have spark. So this may actually fire. All right, we got fuel and we got spark. Let's see if we got a runner. Let's see here. We got fuel. Let's see if we got some throttle. Throttle is sticky. Okay, I'm having trouble starting it because of this sticky throttle here. So I am going to go ahead and see if we can pop this off and get some PB Blaster down there. and get that cable moving again. Oh, that's crusty. Well, it's doing something. I'll just keep working this back and forth and spraying it, and eventually maybe this rusty cable will move. Okay, it's pretty crunchy, but we do now have a throttle cable that comes out and returns. So let's give this another shot. I think I'm going to need more runway. I'm going to go take this out on the street, and I'll start the camera up if I can get it started. Well, I got it to pop off a few times after I got up to some speed, but let's see if I can find the link and show you what happened. Yeah, right there. There's two of them. Basically, every time this thing fires up, the frame flexes in the center and pulls it down, and then the motor twists sideways, and the chain rides on the top of the tooth and then busts. So this needs some major remounting, cutting, grinding, welding, engineering. Yeah. So I'm not going to be doing all of that. This is going to go back to the owner. It did run for a few seconds, so the motor is still good, believe it or not. Alright. Oh geez, this thing's sketchy. Figured I'd take you guys with for one last ride of this bike in non-motorized form. You can see, there it is. Oh man, pedals hitting the exhaust every time. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, hit like. If you want to tell a story about you bringing a bike back from the grave, go ahead and leave that in the comments. And if you have any questions about this build, put them in the comments and I might answer those too. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.